Isaiah 1:17 says, "Learn to do right, seek justice, encourage the oppressed, defend the cause of the fatherless, plead the case of the widow."
Today, there are over 27 million slaves on Earth.
That's more than any time in history.
And roughly 80% of these victims are women and girls.
If you're wondering what it looks like to be a slave today, imagine this.
Families forced to work in brick kilns.
Boys drowning in their master's fishing nets.
Young girls sold into prostitution.
In fact, there are over 2 million children in the commercial sex trade.
And on top of that, over 700,000 people are trafficked across international borders every year.
Speaking of which, by the time you finish watching this video, another child will have been trafficked across the border.
What's the total market value of this business, you may ask?
Over $32
billion.
That's enough money to make human trafficking the second largest illegal business on the planet.
Kinda makes me want to do something about this whole slavery thing.
Well, back in 2000, the US government signed a law called the Trafficking Victims Protection Act.
It's done lots of good things, like create awareness programs in developing countries.
And prosecution of those involved in the slave trade.
This year, the law is up for reauthorization.
It's called the Trafficking Victims Protection Reauthorization Act of 2011.
The TVPRA lays out plans for even more great things, including increased funding for anti-slavery programs.
And build effective justice programs to end child trafficking entirely.
The TVPRA will also ensure legal services for trafficking victims here in the United States.
However, Congress is considering cutting costs.
This is where we step in and say, yeah, that's nice and all, but we're serious about this whole ending slavery thing.
We voted them into office, and now it's time to tell them where we stand.
What kind of legacy is our generation going to leave?
What legacy will you leave?
It's time to bring a voice to the voiceless.
It's time to loosen the chains of injustice.
And time to set the oppressed free!
And when we show up in numbers, we can be pretty influential.
Join us in calling our congressmen.
Join us in calling our congressmen.
Join us in calling our congressmen.
We're gonna break slavery, whether it likes it or not. To learn more, visit www.ijm.org.